Yeah, yeah. And I'll get you ready, Rose.
I think we message. So
Thank you.
Good, good.
Yes, thank you.
At last, somebody has noticed that we're here.
Hey, Dick. Hi, Con.
I can take my mask off now because there's nobody around me. Nobody
Good.
around me at all. I've
I
been
think
religiously wearing my mask. I hope everybody else has.
Yes.
So, all right, Con, everything's set. So, we are ready.
You're
We
doing
are ready to start the meeting.
Smile for me, my Diane. I'm in heaven when I see you smile. See you smile. Smile for me, my Diane.
So, Con, on you go.
Right, well, how's everybody this week? Lovely to see you all. Maureen, pleasure is theirs, and Sue, and Lynn, and John, and everybody. Lovely to see you all. But we have an exciting day for you today. Hope you're going to enjoy it. For in the next half hour, what we got up to. We're going to have a look at my garden because Beck keeps asking me about how is my garden growing. And I've got lots of raised beds, so I'm going to show them today. Should be a bit of a laugh. And then we're talking about tip share and what we do with any money that we get in charity donations, because I'm very much involved in Rotary, and so a lot of my money goes to Rotary and to other causes. It goes to Africa and all sorts of places from Rotary. And they if any disasters happen, any people's houses blown away, we have what's called a shelter box.
Excuse me, Con.
Yes?
You're supposed to be talking about the agenda, not about Rotary.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
What's on the agenda, Con?
Well, I was telling you about what we do tip share. And then what's it like backstage? We're going to show you some pictures of backstage and what it's like back there while you're sitting comfortably in the audience. And do you like gardening? Well, Carol and I are up to our eyes in gardening at the moment. And I'm going to ask John if he likes gardening. And then again, we're going to show some of my home videos, which I always look forward to because they're very exciting for me. And then Dec is going to sing a song. It's a song my father used to sing. And we always thought of it as a drinking song, but in actual fact, it's In Cellar Deep. And then we'll have our competition. And to round off the whole lot, I shall be singing I Believe for every drop of rain that falls.
So, Con, what did we get up to this week? What did you get up to?
Well, a lot of gardening, you know.
So, Con, would it be an idea that we showed you exactly what you got up to?
A good idea.
Here we go.
Just planting some more flowers and things. Hollyhocks and things. Ooh, I'm enjoying this weather. It's absolutely fantastic. Great stuff. Just planted 2 pear trees down there. Don't know if you can see them. And all this wonderful weather. Ooh. We have a nice sitting area there under the trees. Wow. Now that tree there, which is huge, you know. My children used to be able to jump over that one time. And there's the view From here we're looking way over there towards Halifax. You're under those trees there. Wow. It's a lovely place to sit and contemplate your navel. And then if we walk through here, we've got all our raised beds up there. So let's go and have a look. This bed here is full of potatoes. I didn't plant them. They were just seed potatoes that were left over from last year, and they've grown again. Then amongst them, I've planted some other plants, which are courgettes. Got courgettes growing there. And then there's more potatoes growing in there, which I didn't plant. We've got some cabbages there. Cabbages. And some broccoli, which seems to have gone to seed. Oh dear. And there's more potatoes growing in there. Wow. Well, I've got some tomatoes I planted in here. And they're doing okay, I think. I think these are fennel. And more potatoes here, which I didn't plant. Didn't plant at all. Some little onions in there. And more onions here. But have a look. And here's some more tomatoes I planted. And some little onions. Loads of onions in there. But these potatoes are sprouting up everywhere. And this is my favourite gooseberry bush, which wasn't very prolific. Wasn't very prolific today. Or any day. But some nice onions growing here. See that big one there? Wow. Huge one there. These are going to seed. Look at that seed. These are my strawberries, which I've got covered to protect them from the birds and slugs and whatever else. Plenty in there. I got one or two.
I think we've eaten them all.
No, I got one there. I got a little one.
I can't see it.
Little, they're lovely. And these are cabbages, which again I've covered over to protect from butterflies and all sorts of things. They're doing quite well. And these are potatoes which I did sow in here. There are more potatoes I've sowed. And I think I showed you earlier the blossom on the apple tree. Look at all the apples on there. Wow. Hundreds and hundreds of them. Wow. We'll have to start making cider. We've got all those, we're very lucky we've got all those fields to walk around. Right up there. Wow. There you go. I did promise Deck I'd show me raised beds. So there I've done it. And hope you're staying safe. We're all on lockdown again here in Yorkshire now. Huddersfield, Halifax and surrounding districts. So there's no fraternising at all. Anyway, I'll see you on Sunday. Bye bye.
A few things came out of
tell
that
you
con. I had no idea that potatoes, they self-seed. So the Irish, you can imagine how and why the Irish famine happened. Because farmers, I suppose, I mean, ordinary people used to probably just take whatever potatoes they want and then left the rest in the ground.
I was just going to say about the blight, because you're supposed to transfer. You know, never plant the same things in the same patch every year. You're supposed to move them around every year. I tell you what, if you're interested in gardening or want to, my daughter Carol brought me this. She brought it from America, and it's called square foot gardening. And you just do a square foot at a time, so you never get bored. You just do a little square foot and plant a few things in it, and then go on to the next square foot the next day. So you never get tired, and it's a brilliant way of thinking of gardening. If you want to plant anything at all, like lettuce, and we have loads of stuff growing in the greenhouse, lettuce and onions and tomatoes and all sorts of stuff. So we're doing well. We're doing well.
It hasn't gone unnoticed, Con, that you didn't ask me what I got up to this week.
Well, what did you get up to then?
Well, I was going to cover it, but I decided not to. Look at this. Look at this. You should have seen that a few days ago. In our local shopping centre, it's used to be called the Arndale, it's now called the Beacon. They put in charging points for electric cars. Put a huge barrier across and a conduit for the electrics going across underneath it. So, silly me, I decided instead of walking around the barrier, which you're supposed to, I decided, well, it's only about 4 feet high, I can jump over it. I jumped over it, but my trailing leg on the jump caught the electric conduit and smashed me on top of the barrier, and then I fell from the top of the barrier down onto the ground. Managed to, I had two layers of clothes on, so I was pretty safe. Didn't injure myself too badly, and then just smashed my head completely on the ground. It was, honestly, it was out here. And I was meeting my granddaughter and Ali, her father, over from Dubai, and his wife in a lovely restaurant. And they said, and he said, he's a football guy, he's a football coach, and he said, for goodness sake, get ice. So we got a load of ice, and thank goodness, if anything happens to you as regards bruising, ice. I knew it was good, but I didn't know it was that good. And honestly, there's no bruising at all. You can see the cuts. You can see the cuts. And I was going to cover them up, but then I thought, you might give me a little bit of sympathy. Well, what's next, Con?
Well, it's what we got up to backstage. You know, everybody's sitting nice and comfortably in beautiful surroundings when you're watching the show. But it's what goes on backstage. Where are the artists? Where are they changing? And we've had some wonderful experiences over the years. And I think we should show the ladies and gentlemen some of what happens backstage. Here we go.
So, this is what it looks like backstage.
It's wonderful. Actually, a very, very, very nice room. Small room.
Small room.
Small room, but very nice.
I think my smallest toilet is bigger than this room.
Well,
we always have a laugh, don't we, about dressing rooms?
I wouldn't worry about it. My son Philip actually has a website which anybody can look at. It's called Shit Dressing Rooms.
Oh, no.
And there's all sorts of, anybody in show business is welcome to put something on there.
A photograph or whatever.
A photograph.
Yeah.
I think we've put some on.
Where's the best dressing room we've ever had?
That's hard to say, really. Actually, I like the one at Batley Variety Club.
Because there's a story.
Because
there's a story to it.
No,
Go on,
mainly,
go on.
Mainly because when we laid the foundation stone for Batley Variety Club, we went back to Jimmy Corrigan's for a party, and he said, "Would you like to see the plans for the theatre?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to." And he had swing doors going onto the stage. I said, "Well, they for?" He said, "Oh, well, I thought they'd look good." I said, "That's stupid, because can you imagine roadies trying to carry amplifiers and things onto the stage? That's stupid. Why don't you make it like a proper theatre? Have wings, what they call wings, the curtains down the side." So anyway, he did that. And then I said, "Is that the dressing room, the number one dressing room?" It says 6 foot by 6 foot square. I said, "Now."
That's bigger than here.
I know.
No, it's smaller, actually.
On the opening night, I said, "You've invited, we'll obviously be there, the three of us.
Because we were
Without-
appearing.
with our 3 wives, yes. I said, and then you and Betty will be coming in, yes. And you've invited the chief of police. He said, yeah. And he's bringing his wife, yeah. And the Lord Mayor's coming with his wife. So how are we all going to fit in a 6 foot by 6 foot
Dressing room, yeah.
So,
And get dressed.
and get dressed. So I said, why don't
And
you
get
make-
washed.
And get washed.
Did you know the people in show business actually wash?
Do they?
Oh, absolutely.
And they
And
go
yet,
to the toilet as well.
I go to the toilet as well, and yet practically, I would say a good 50% to 70% of dressing rooms don't have washing facilities and don't have toilet facilities.
Yeah.
I mean, where do we wash here? Where do we go to the toilet?
There is a toilet just round the corner, so
Yeah.
we're okay. We're okay. Anyway, give Jimmy Corrigan his due. He built the most beautiful dressing room. I said, why don't you make it like a dressing room with a toilet and shower and everything else attached to it, and have a reception room where we can meet people like yourself and the chief of police and the Lord Mayor and people like that. So give him his due. He did that, and it turned out to be one of the best dressing rooms.
And you know, from memory, that was, I think, the first dressing room we've ever been in that was a fridge.
That's right. Yeah.
And a sofa.
Fridge with drinks.
But the strangest dressing room of the whole lot, which I found was astonishing, was at the Palladium.
Exactly. That was
The
the-
fantastic theatre, unbelievable. And the number one dressing room was tiny, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And it was in 2 parts. There was a curtain just like there, and into the curtain, and there was a sort of an area in there for dressing. And
Yeah.
that was a cubby hole, wasn't it? And when Yul Brynner, he came over to do The King and I, which Ross Taylor, our producer, he produced that. And Ross demanded that they change 2 of the big dressing rooms into one huge dressing room, at least a huge dressing area for him with a, as you said, an area where you could meet people, have a
Exactly,
drink
yeah.
and all that sort of stuff. And then the problem was, because it was miles, and it still is, it's miles away from the actual stage. And bearing in mind that he had bare feet in The King and I. So Ross demanded that they put a fitted carpet all the way down, from his dressing room all the way down. And poor Yul Brynner got such a reputation, demanding carpets, demanding this. I said, well, hold on a second. How would you feel walking along on bare feet with tacks and everything on the floor and splinters coming out of the wooden floorboards and all that? So he was dead right.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we've got the greatest stories about dressing rooms. What was the worst dressing room, just very quickly? The worst. Can you think? I'll have a think. You have a think. I know. About 2 years ago, do you remember we played a place and they said that it was a situation where you had to actually go through the audience with all your guitars and everything else into a little tiny dressing room onto the stage and into this tiny dressing room.
That's
And
right.
we nicely said to them, I'm terribly sorry, but no, we can't do that. I said, you must have some little place. And I said, well, the only place is there's a little room that we can bring you to. And we brought us to this little room, which is smaller than this, if you remember. We went in, and there was a huge trapdoor on the floor. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And then halfway through the evening, the guy came and says, I'm sorry, I've got to change the barrels. And the whole floor, we had to go out of the dressing room. The whole floor went up like that. It was crazy, absolutely crazy. But that was probably the worst. Do you think it was the worst?
We're not fussy. We're easy.
Oh, we're not easy to please, come on.
But anyway,
So if
I
you
think
want
that-
to know, if you really want to know about dressing rooms, we are the people to talk to.
yeah,
Dressing rooms, we are the experts.
exactly.
where the Beverly Sisters replaced us one night. We couldn't do a show, and we actually went. We somehow managed to go, and they were sitting in this dressing room, freezing cold, and the three of them were on a broken-down sofa with springs sticking out. There was a hole in the roof, and they had a big shawl around the three of them. And they were old-school show business. They'd been there since about 3 o'clock, rehearsed with the little band that they had, and then they were waiting to go on at 11:30. And they were sitting there, the three of them, freezing. Do you remember?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So listen, Con, what is this about gardening? I really didn't know you were interested in gardening. But I'll tell you what I did like, the hollyhocks. I love hollyhocks. They grow so tall, about 6 foot high. That was beautiful. The and fennel. One of my favourite things is fennel. I use it as a herb an awful lot. But they tell me, and I've never done it, that you can actually use the underneath like an onion. You can cook it like an onion. But what is it that attracts you to gardening, Con?
Well, I wasn't really interested until I moved up here to Yorkshire, and I bought, as you know, it's in the middle of a farm, and I bought the field next door, next to the house, and I've developed it over the years, and that's where I've got my raised beds. I planted some trees and things. And, you know, they were tiny at first when I put them in. As I was showing you in the video there, my children used to be able to jump over the trees, but now they're so high, they're about...
But they were,
20 foot
Con,
high.
your children were 20 feet tall then.
Oh, yeah. But this book I was telling you about is very, very, very interesting. Square foot gardening, just do a little bit at a time. Because if you go at a whole field trying to dig the whole thing up, you really get disappointed. You know, it's too much effort for too little reward.
How
So the
about
best thing
John,
to
do you
do-
think? How about John, do you think? John Leyland.
Do you like any gardening, John? Do you do any gardening?
No. No. The garden, my garden is built specifically for minimum maintenance. I've got a couple of trees, a few rose bushes, and where you would normally have grass, I've got beautiful, easy to manage gravel. You can ask me about dressing rooms, though.
Well, tell us about dressing rooms then, John.
I remember going off big time at one venue. Mecca Bingo spent hundreds of thousands of pounds rebuilding their huge place in Southport. I think it was about 1983, and I'd helped Brian Savory in with the gear because he would never lift anything heavy, so he always grabbed me if I was around. And then Deck arrived, and he was desperate for a shave, and there was this beautiful big dressing room, all nicely decorated, lovely carpet, loads of space, no sink. And Deck went off on one because there was no sink and he couldn't get a shave. He was so upset by it that he even mentioned it in the act when you went on later that night.
Can I say, John,
Mute
that
myself.
I've always had a logic in show business that, yes, I will create a fuss because I don't care if they don't like us. I don't care if they don't book us again, but they certainly will not do that to the next artist that comes. And that is exactly what happens. And I've mentioned this to other artists in show business, that that's my attitude, and they totally disagree with me. They're always worried about being rebooked and all that. And I said, no, that is not the point. We are a very sophisticated, as I say, you know, I get out of my jacuzzi, get into my BMW, drive to the venue, and then you want me to dress in this absolute shithole. And it's true. It's true. You know, a lot of the times we used to wear a lot of white outfits, if you remember, John. A lot of white outfits.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that I did kick off at that place we mentioned about the Beverly Sisters in Lowestoft because the carpet had paint on it, hadn't been hoovered for, I would say, 20 years. You can imagine what it was like. Ripped, cut, horrible. And then and the manager was actually standing in the dressing room, and I made a huge point of taking the suit covers and covering the floor with the suit covers so that we could put on our white suits.
Mhm.
Do you think I'm right?
When I say you went off on one, you made a pointed comment. You didn't lose your temper or anything like that. But yeah, sure, people should look after you, and you're right to point out the error of their ways.
Well,
Everybody-
never make a point. I never ever lose my temper.
No,
I
that's
don't think
right.
anybody can ever say that. So when I see comments about me on Facebook or whatever about being a terrible man and shouting and screaming, it's absolutely untrue because you will never ever in your life see me lose my temper. Am I right, Con?
That's right. Yeah. Very true. Very true. But
So
you
thank
do-
you very much for your comments, John. And shall
You're
we get on to shall we get on to Con's? I know you love this bit, John. Con's lovely videos. Would you like to see what your videos do and say?
See, yeah. Oh wow.
That was Sarah, an ex-girlfriend of mine there.
Yeah. Wow. No, I don't know. Oh, I don't know who that is.
Come on, Con. Memory.
That's Arthur Askey. Wow.
Arthur Askey, of course.
He was lovely. I think this was on a midnight matinee where it was in Blackpool, and all the artists from all the different shows in Blackpool, they all came along for the midnight matinee. It was a hell of a cast. It was huge.
Haven't the faintest idea who those three guys were. But they were, that's Cardew Robinson, by the way. But those three guys, they were on every Sunday night at the Opera House in Blackpool with us. That's Kenneth McKellar.
He used to sing a load of Scottish songs. And I think, who else? There's a load of other people on this show as well. I'm sure they'll make an appearance any minute now. Oh, Des O'Connor. And he's wearing a kilt as well. Wow. Good old Des. He started off as a comedian, and then he discovered he had a good singing voice, so he used to sing a bit as well.
I think he decided he wasn't funny.
Johnny Hackett.
Johnny Hackett.
Johnny was a good singer as well. If you look him up on YouTube, he's a very, very good singer. I can never remember his name. A very funny man with a dog.
The theatres hated him because the dog made an entrance through a slashed cut in the back cloth. There's Winifred Atwell.
Win for that one. Wow.
Eddie Calvert before that.
Yeah.
Oh, my papa.
Ding, 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 ding. She was a great.
You know, I never had a conversation with her, ever.
No.
She wasn't a very conversational person.
Yeah.
There they are doing a bit of ad-lib.
Yeah. When you playing the piano and Johnny singing.
Nowadays you get 4 or 6 dancers. In those days, minimum 12. Minimum.
Yeah. Well, you see,
You must have gone to visit another show. And you were probably standing on the wings. There's Arthur Haynes.
Arthur Haynes, he was wonderful. He was King Rat when we were made water rats.
And he died.
Yeah.
Dermot Kelly and that dreadful, dreadful, dreadful woman. Because Nicholas Parsons was one of their troops.
That's
And they hated him. The three of those hated him. And Nicholas used to spend all his time with us out skiing on the sea. Do you remember, Con?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the trick. Watch the trick. Watch the trick. There it is. There's the trick. Look at that. Raphael.
Raphael.
Very funny comic, actually. And there's Val Dunican with his guitar.
Um,
Typical pose. And I don't know
Lovely
what he
pose.
does here. He turns around and he pushes out. Don't know what he did there, but there we are.
Lovely man.
Frank Berry. So that must have been Blackpool because that was the only place. Yeah,
Oh.
there's Scylla. Only place that Frank appeared with us.
And
Slim Scylla. Raphael.
Freddie Davis. Wow.
Sorry, Freddie Davis. Yeah.
I say, pirate face.
Very strange man, actually. And there's, I don't know who those three guys are. Now, this, I feel, was down in Paynton.
Yeah.
I think that was my mother, actually, going behind the bush there. And this looks awful, but it's not. Look, it looks like a wife beater.
He was salty.
Assaulting my wife. I wasn't, actually.
Yeah. And there's my wife Kay, who hated the water, wouldn't get in. The only way she go on the water is in a little floating thing. Oh dear.
That's Kay, blonde. She was a redhead, really, wasn't she?
It was, yeah. Always reddish.
That's old-fashioned digging.
Yeah. Oh,
Look at that man down the hole digging. You never see that today, do you?
going ah, as they dug.
There's South Africa, Con.
Oh yeah. South Africa. And my wife Kay borrowed my camera and went off on a safari thing. Took loads of pictures of lions, tigers, and all sorts of things.
Fingers.
It was in the coach. That's in the coach. I think there's some lions in this.
Yep. There's a big lion.
Wow. Wouldn't like to meet him on a dark night. Or on a bright night even. Oh. Lovely animals. Lovely. Those were the days.
I wonder where we were, Con.
Well, we're probably out playing golf or something. We had some great days playing golf. I'm playing golf at 4 o'clock, by the way.
And there's the lion saying, "Get off my road."
Yeah. Beep, 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 beep. Get out of the way. Beep, beep.
I can't imagine driving down the road in Eastbourne and seeing some lions like that.
Oh, dear. Lioness. Beautiful creatures.
Well, that was lovely, Con. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Great. I love watching them because it brings back memories of that trip we did down to
There's John. John is applauding, actually. John is applauding. Let me see how many other people are applauding. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there's quite a few. And John Hutchinson is saying, "Splendid videos. Thank you, Con." That's very kind of you, John. And Sue, you can stop clapping now. That's lovely.
Yeah. Well, you know, they do bring back lovely memories. Because otherwise you forget about certain things in your life. I thought you said didn't sound
It was Barry Miles. Actually, I've been looking for this song all my career because my father, our father, unfortunately died when he was 17, or when I was 17. And strangely, I have very little memory of him. And psychiatrists actually say that is a good thing. It means that you did everything for the person involved. In other words, everything you could. You never had a situation of saying, "If only I did this." So with my father, I think I never had a situation of saying, "If only." My father was my hero, obviously, but every party we went to, this was his favourite song. All I could remember was, "I'm drinking," and of course I had the wrong words. And when I researched it, Barry Miles, who's on the show today, on the meeting today, gave me the title In Cellar Cool. So I researched it, and every version was different. So eventually I got the music together, wrote the orchestration and everything, played the piano. I used the piano, actually, you won't believe this in a million years. In fact, I know you won't believe it, but it's absolutely true. I used the piano in Abbey Road Studios. And wait till you hear this piano. It's the most astonishing piano I've ever played in my life. But anyway, I had to change the words myself. Because I couldn't find the right words. And here I am. And this is written in the key of F. Because as people will know, the lowest baritone bass note is F. So let's see how I get on singing this amazing song in the key of F.
Wow. I can't wait for this. Oh.
In cellar cool at evening,
No,
Let me just go on to Valerie View. Wait now, I just want to see the applause. I just want to see the applause. Still no standing ovations, Con. Still no standing ovations for that. I wonder who that gentleman was who was singing. That's lovely. Thank you very much. But you were saying something yesterday to me about my father being able to sing lower than me.
I'm sure he is. Yeah, I'm sure he sang it much lower than that, because I remember him singing and doing the words, DRINKING. And he got really, really low. He did. And so, matter of fact, if he wasn't singing it, Sean Murphy, remember Sean Murphy, the barber? He was our local barber, and Sean Murphy used to sing bass in the choir, and he used to sing it, and he used the same words, DRINKING. So I bet you can't sing as low as my
You
father.
think that I can't sing as low as my father? Well, let me tell you, that was written in the key of F.
Yes.
I asked the orchestra, and actually the strings were the Vienna Symphony blues. I asked the orchestra, could they take it down? Not one semitone, not two semitones, not three semitones, four semitones, but five semitones down to the key of C. Now that is impossible to hit a C note at the bottom, but just you wait to see what I did.
Oh dear.
But still I find the more I drink, the more my thirst increases. In fact, with needs as large as this, my craving seldom ceases. But never mind, the day is long until the sun is sinking. Well, I feel a friend to every man while I'm
Let me see the applause. Let me see the applause. Nearly a standing ovation. When are they ever going to give me a standing ovation? Someday they will, Con. I know they will. But what did you think of that? And that was specially for Barry Miles. And strangely enough, Con, that was for you as well as a tribute to our father, Joseph Klotsky. In actual fact, he couldn't sing as low as that. And in case, I know what you're thinking, Con, I bet there was all sorts of auto-tune and everything on that. D O INK
I didn't know you could stoop as low as that. Oh,
You know
yes.
something, Con, I'll tell you, I have never ever enjoyed anything as much as putting that together. And thank you. Well, look, Barry Miles has just put on the chat line, very convincing, as if I'm fooling people. I am not fooling anybody. That is actually me. And John Leyland, what did John Leyland say? Oh, it's lovely, lovely. Everybody is commenting. That's lovely. So, Con, there's Cellar Cool. That's low. It is. I can actually go to G da da, but that is B flat actually, and unfortunately, it doesn't resonate in your throat. I'm singing it, but you can't hear it, sort of thing. Do you understand that? You're not convinced, John, but.
The only one I remember who could sing really low is Mike Sam. You remember the Mike Sam singers? Mike Sam, he was really, really, really low, down to your feet.
It was Mike Sams and Ivor Raymond. Ivor Raymond was a great bass singer, and it was the two of them that taught me all the tricks, because a lot of it, ladies and gentlemen, is tricks. It's all tricks, as with everything, piano playing, anything, playing the mouth organ. A lot of it is tricks, but you have to be taught the tricks. And we were very lucky. We worked with Mike Sams, the Mike Sams singers, people will remember. And then Ivor Raymond, of course.
Yeah.
Ivor Raymond, yeah. And then, of course, Colin Fletcher. He was actually the voice, ladies and gentlemen. I can say all this stuff now, I don't care. But he was actually all the voices of Bay City Rollers, which was quite amazing.
Mike Sam's.
Shall we get on with the competition, Con?
Yes, competition, yeah. Now, here's a good question for everybody. Anybody who knows our history. Can anybody tell us?
Wait, now, how do we do the competition, please?
Well, we do. Oh, you have to go on the it's down there somewhere. Down there, Deck will have to point it out for you.
The chat box.
Yeah,
the chat box, which is right there. Okay.
And
Go on the chat, click on it now, and that will open up the chat box, and then you can type the answer. Typing is at the bottom of the chat box. I'm opening my chat box now, so I can see everybody. Now, on you go, Con.
Well, and the question is, you all know Deck and I come from Dublin, Inchicore, a place called Tyrconnell Park, which is a lovely spot. Can anybody tell us the number of the house we live in?
And what is the prize, Con?
Well, the prize is to have a chat with us and ask us any questions you wish. Any questions.
And the question is?
Question is what number? What number was the house? What number was the house in Tyrconnell Park? Does anybody know? Does anybody know?
No family members, please. I'm saying everything low now.
Oh, down your deep voice. Anybody?
No answers. Come on, please. No answers. No answers.
Oh, Maureen, pleasure.
John Hutchinson says, I'll guess 10. No, it was in the hundreds, actually.
Yeah.
141, says John Leyland. You are very, very close, John Leyland, but you've just been on a lot, so we want somebody who's not been on a lot. Come on, 104, 130. Bernadette. Listen, Bernadette, that's close enough, because I don't think anybody else will know the answer. So, Bernadette, if you would kindly unmute yourself.
Yes.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
tell us all about yourself. What is your interest in us? Have you got a story, maybe? Maybe sometime you met us. Go on. We'll keep quiet now, and Con, keep quiet.
Well, my mum was a big fan. My mum was from County Fermanagh, my late mum, and my dad was from County Monaghan. And my mum was a great, great fan of you. She died in February. She was 92. And she always talked of you so much. And I just wanted to come on because it's my birthday today. And it's been great that I've come on to talk to you as well.
Is it your birthday today, is it?
Yes.
Oh my goodness me! You should have told us. I would have had a cake, and that is the truth. Happy birthday to you, Bernadette. Happy birthday to you, Bernadette. Happy birthday, dear Bernadette. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
And many more.
Thank you very much.
That's lovely to hear from you, Bernadette, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So do you get back to Ireland at all? Do you ever go back over there?
We do. We went back. We were there last year because my husband is Irish as well. And we have a 10-year-old son. We're very busy. We had him quite late in life and he's 10 and he loves going to the countryside. But we're not going this year because of the lockdown and everything. We're going to a week in Worcestershire. But he loves going to Ireland. My husband is from a big family, a family of 8. So
Yeah, yeah.
we have a lot of links to Ireland.
Ah, lovely. Well, that's gorgeous, Bernadette. Thank you very much. And
Thank you, too.
obviously very sad about your mother.
Yes.
And she was a big fan of us. But thank
Yeah.
you very much for sharing all that with us.
Thank you. Thank
Lovely.
you. You made my day. Thank you.
Lovely. And we have to ask you now to mute yourself, please. Would you? Yes? That's lovely. Thank you very much. You've done it already. That's gorgeous, Bernadette. But listen, Con, you've got a big surprise in store for people now coming towards the end of the show.
We recorded it in 1964, I think it was. We released it and it went right up the charts. It was #1 in the disc magazine, but a lot of the other places it was #2. #1 all over the world, actually. It went exactly like this. Here we go.
Okay.
I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows. I believe that somewhere in the darkest night, a candle glows. I believe for everyone who goes astray, someone will come to show the way. I believe, I believe.
I believe above the storm, the smallest prayer will still be heard.
I believe that someone in the great somewhere hears every word. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, then I know why. I believe. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, then I know why. I believe.
I believe. I believe. I wasn't wearing. Oh, thank you.
That was fantastic. You're in good voice today, Con.
Ah,
Really in good voice. That's really terrific. That
And
was
George,
fantastic.
always
Right now,
enjoyed
I just have to put it on to Gallery View, and if you'd all like to, please give Con a big round of applause.
Oh, they are.
Please give him a big round of applause. Please give him a big round of applause. Rosie, even you, come on, Rosie, I can see you. Big round of applause. Oh, that's wonderful. That is terrific. Thank you so much, everybody. That makes our day. So, Con, what are we going to get up to next week?
Next week, I was just going to tell everybody about it. Yeah, we
And
were.
I'm not being silly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not being silly wearing this. I'm just doing it to remind everybody to please be careful. Please.
Yeah, I've got mine ready in the car. Anytime I go out, I put it on.
Good.
One just like yours.
Shall I butt in, Con? It's the Jimmy Brown song, which a lot of people have requested, and Con's daughter, Carol, has asked us to do it. So I'm going to do a special arrangement of it. It's going to be a really stripped down one with just what we love playing is guitars. So So it's going to be guitar based, and it's going to be all. I tell you what, there's going to be a lot of singing on it, a lot of harmonies.
Right, yeah. And everybody can join in the boom, 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 booms.
In the chapel, bells were ringing.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. And the chapel bells were ringing in the little village town.
Looking forward to singing.
And the song that they were singing. Wait now. Was for little Jimmy Brown. And the song that they were singing. There's a little taste.
Anyway, that's next week. So until then, say goodbye to everybody and look after yourselves. Thanks for watching and goodbye. God bless.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. I may sound a double Dutch, but my delight is such. I feel as if a losing war has been won